thanks for joining us today. We have an inspirational story coming up that stretches from the USA to Malawi and back to us in the UK, which involves plumbing, clean water, charity, and positive human spirit. All right, I'm Reg from Machmade Dyno, from the dynamic borough of Knowsley near Liverpool in the UK. We're a plumbing business with 31 years history who have helped local charities and are well known for investing in the growth of our work colleagues. I was on Crowdfire app a few weeks ago and was introduced to a brilliant story featuring our guests today, Cindee and Eric, and thought, wow, this story needs telling. What made it even more exciting is the link with a famous inspirational teacher, Tony Robbins. I guess we've all walked the coals. After contacting Cindee and Eric, we now have them both here. We're so excited with us to tell us all about this brilliant project. Cindee, can I hand over to you to tell us about Formidable Joy and how you met Eric and how this all goes together?
Sure. Thank you, number one, for having both of us. We're so grateful. This is crazy how all three of us have met and talked and got to know each other. I have a charity. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. I have a charity called Formidable Joy, and the sole mission is to provide access to clean water in Malawi, Africa via boreholes. So I drill boreholes in Malawi, Africa for a living. Although when I say for a living, it is a nonprofit. I do not make a dollar from it. I do not take a salary. Everything that comes into the corporation goes straight back to the field in Malawi. I met Eric. Eric and I attended a Tony Robbins event back in August in Las Vegas, and it's called Business Mastery. So everybody goes to that with different business ideas to try to improve their business. So everybody there is a for-profit company. So Eric's in the plumbing business, so he would go around, hi, I'm Eric, I'm looking to improve my plumbing business, or hi, I'm a realtor, I want to improve my real estate business. And so I was going around going, hi, I'm a new nonprofit, and I'm just looking to make sure I run my nonprofit as well as I possibly can. So trying to explain to people in Las Vegas how I am a girl in LA who drills boreholes in Malawi, Africa. You know, people would just kind of give me a blank stare for the most part, be like, good for you, you know, with the exception of Eric. And Eric and I ended up actually sitting together for most of the event. And Eric, being in the plumbing industry, was interested in what I'm doing probably more than anybody else in that room. And Eric, also being a guy with the biggest giant heart, was also, he's kind of like an earth angel to me. So, what happened with Eric was had told him about my business, my nonprofit, and a couple days into it, Tony Robbins was talking, and he leaned over to me and he said, hey, Cindee, what's the name of that charity that you started? And I said, oh, it's Formidable Joy. And he hands me an envelope with $1,000 in cash inside of it. And I immediately start bawling, crying. I'm like, you don't even know me. I mean, I could take this right now and go buy shoes for all you know. And he said, well, that's on you. Whatever you want to do with it. And I'm crying. And he goes, you know, I'm going to make it worse for you. He hands me another envelope for $1,000 in cash, crying, you know. And Eric said to me, I'm in the water business, and I've made my living in water. And the least I can do is help people who don't have access to water. Crying yet again. So really it was thanks to Eric that my nonprofit got started, and we were able to fund our very first project just because of meeting Eric in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So
was Eric the first person to donate any money to the project? Or?
Eric was actually the second person, but because of Eric, there was a first person. So we befriended another man who was so lovely, and he runs a very successful corporation, but he had never, ever given to charity before. His name is Chris, if Chris ever sees this. And Chris actually had come up to me the day before Eric and said, I just don't give to charity. He goes, but I want to be your first donor. And he handed me a check for $1,000. But the reason he did that was because him and Eric had gotten so close, and Eric was telling him the importance of giving back and of charity. And so truly, Eric is like I said, he's my earth angel. And if it wasn't for him, the first project would have never happened.
Yeah, great. Okay. And over to you then, Eric. I mean, you tell us your side of this great meeting that happened in Las Vegas. I mean, most of us go there to
Thanks,
gamble.
Cindee. You're amazing
Most
as
of
always.
us go there to gamble, but what were you doing?
Well, I only went because my brother told me it was a hell of a seminar that I should go, so I went. It's pretty awesome that I met Cindee. She does amazing things. We spent pretty much the whole time together because we were creating this project while we were there. There was her and probably 7 other people, and we were just talking. And I normally don't donate in charities. Ever do I donate in charities. I'd rather donate to individual people or school districts that help individual people. So it was the first time I ever did a real charity. And it was amazing. I never expected anything from it. And when she told me that you trust me with this money, it was like, yeah, once I give it to you, my mitzvah is complete. Whatever you do with that money is on you. It has nothing to do with me. So she kept me up to date on every project. I mean, every step of the way, she sent me videos. I didn't expect anything. Emails, I mean, everything. Thank yous, the whole 9 yards. She kept me and Chris all up to date. It was amazing.
So this all started in August, and when was that well complete?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Look, he knows better than I do.
Yeah, amazing.
But,
such a short period of time.
Yeah, well, if you have one more minute, the reason that project happened so fast was because just 3 weeks before going to Vegas, I was in Malawi. And I had gone to visit a village, and it was my last day in Malawi. And they said, Cindee, we know this village, and if you could come see it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But yes, let's go see it. So we went to see the village, and what happened was this is an extremely poor village, and they had been scammed. A man came to their village and said, if you collect, I think it was $500, went to the villagers and said, if you collect $500, I'll come back and I will drill you a borehole. Well, they collected the money, and he took the money and ran, and he never drilled their borehole. So when I went there, I saw that this was a deserving village. They were getting their water from either hand-dug holes in the ground or the river. Those were their only 2 access to water, obviously not clean water. So I said, 100% yes, this is such a deserving village, let's do it. But what had happened was I had over budgeted. And so when I got home, I said, oh my gosh, I went over budget, because you get there and you want to say yes to everything. You can't say yes to everything, but you want to. And so I had to get home and I had to text my driller, and I said, I don't have the money right now, but I will get you the money. I promise I will get you the money. And so when I met Eric and Chris, we were able to help fund that borehole. And I sent a text to Malawi from Las Vegas saying, I have the money, start drilling. Jeez. So within just a few weeks later, they had clean running water for the first time in their lives, and they have a hand pump borehole now.
Amazing. Yeah. And in terms of you, Eric, obviously you're from the plumbing industry, aren't you? So it's such a good way of giving back to a community. Yeah.
It's amazing knowing that the smallest little step you take can reach worldwide. You know, I never expected you to get a hold of us. And then there was another story, if Cindee wants to tell you about, that she told me about, with the article that came out in the newspaper. Mind you, the paper that the article came out in, the population of this whole area is only 75,000 people. So for you to be able to see that article all the way in the UK is pretty amazing in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's proof there are no accidents. That's beyond, all. That's
beyond
all I can say.
Yeah, beyond coincidence, isn't it? Almost. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And I'll tell you this. I know for a fact Cindee could make things happen that would never normally happen.
Yeah.
We had a project to do at the Tony Robbins event, and we had a request of the hotel to donate a whole bunch of water, and they said they've never ever donated anything to any of these seminars that Tony Robbins has ever put on, and we were the first people they've ever donated to.
And they donated 1,000 bottles of water to our event.
Amazing, yeah. So Cindee, where are we going from here? What's happening? I believe you said that you've got quite a few wells in progress at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah. So I've been involved in 26 projects to date in Malawi. My goal this year alone is to try to do 20. We'll see. I've completed 7 already this year, and I'm actually heading to Malawi next week to start assessing new projects. And hopefully we'll have a call with you when we get there.
Yeah, great. Can I just say you've done 7 already, meaning by the 3rd of March or whatever, yeah?
Yeah, again, keep in mind, I go months ahead of time and assess the projects, and then we say, okay, let's say yes to these projects. Of the 7, I've drilled 5 and I repaired 2. The impact of these can be anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people who are impacted by a borehole. And then of the 7 I've completed this year alone, 6 have been in schools. So imagine going to school, and they're all primary schools and 1 nursery school. And so imagine going to school and you have no running water, which many of the schools in Malawi, with the exception of private schools, don't have running water. They usually have a hand pump borehole. So, and then in the cases that I've seen, they don't even have a borehole there for, could be 1,000 kids at the school. So it's something I know I take for granted. We all take water for granted, and literally every single thing in the world that you touch, eat, it has a water component to it. I mean, we're made of 60% water. So it's just amazing how much we all take it for granted. So.
True. And so did you say you'd done 26 projects up to now, yeah?
But yeah, this was my 3rd year, and this is the 3rd, sorry, I can't talk. We have completed 26 so far. 7 under Formidable Joy, because I'm a brand new charity. So 7 under my own umbrella.
Right. Yeah. And in terms of ourselves, I mean, we're a sort of relatively small plumbing company in the UK, but our plumbing manager, Steve Cosgrove, he last year ran 25 marathons and 10Ks. This year he is going to do it for Formidable Joy, he said. So we'll have to link up with about that.
Thank you.
And
That's
easy.
amazing.
I mean, an example, he raised £2,000 last year for the Macmillan. So if we can do something similar, it would be great, wouldn't it? As a start, yeah.
It's any little tiny. I mean, that's huge. First of all, that's not tiny. That's huge. Thank you. The cost of the borehole for me to drill a borehole is $4,000 US.
Yeah.
On average. So 2,000 pounds would make a huge difference. So thank you. And
I will hook you up with Steve later on so you can see the effort he's putting in. He loves it now. He loves running, so it's not a chore for him.
Yeah, I'm never going to run a marathon. So I'm going to stick to drilling boreholes in Malawi than running marathons. That sounds easier to me.
Probably more sensible. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we can wrap up for now, unless you've got anything else to say. I mean,
no.
Obviously we will have details of your website, formidablejoy.org, and also we'll have a shout out for K&K Plumbing as well from Ohio. Yeah.
Ohio. So this story goes from Ohio to Las Vegas to Los Angeles to Liverpool to Malawi. That's 5 different things that have, 5 different areas that have touched these people, and they have no idea. It's unbelievable.
Let's get it going. Let's do even more. We'd be grateful to be part of this project. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm really blessed, and I'm so appreciative.
I want to thank my friend Annette for writing that article in the first place. Because if it wasn't for her getting into the newspaper, none of this be happening right now.